Hi, today my group is going to be talking about the connection that Kanye West makes in his song Jesus Walks with the Bible. So Kanye West wrote Jesus Walks in 2004 as one of his debut songs on the album The College Dropout. This song and these albums won a lot of awards, including Grammys and many other throughout the year. He struggled a lot to get a record deal because of his rapping about religion, and a lot of producers were not interested in signing someone who wasn't talking about more violence and stuff and just focusing on his religion and his Christianity and his music. This song focuses on the route from sinner to saint of a man who is a drug dealer contemplating his religion, and then he ends up building a relationship with God and Christianity.
So I'm Nevia Lowe, and I will be talking about Psalm 23, verse 4 and Jesus Walks and how they're related. In Jesus Walks by Kanye West, there are a few lyrics that are paralleled in Psalm 23, verse 4, like, I walk through the valley of the shadow where death is. God showed me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now, and I know he hear me when my feet get weary. In Psalm 23, verse 4, it states, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Kanye is really expressing how hard his upbringing was and how difficult it was for him to make it in his career, especially as how far he was getting at this point. I walk through the valley of the shadow where death is, and even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, is Kanye incorporating part of the Bible into his song and into his work, which is something that he expresses he is criticized a lot for in this song. He also explains that through his journey, he's lacking fear because God will guide him. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now is a reflection of that. And in Psalm 23, verse 4, it's also kind of stated, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This is a reflection of a reoccurring theme in the Bible, and that God will always provide the strength that you need as long as you hold faith in him. He says that he also must have faith in himself and hold faith in God to continue his career.
I'll be talking about why Kanye picked this connection for his song Jesus Walks. So Kanye likely chose this verse as it provides a lens into the questions and concepts he wishes to discuss and delve into further depth in with his audience of the song Jesus Walks. And so he likely chose this specific connection because of how well it resonated with his and his friends and family's perspective on life. Through several life experiences. And so the verse he chose is one that, probably brought him power during tumultuous times, and one that really led him to turn to the Lord and find power there. And so this choice of scripture reflects, the burning questions in his life that, he discusses in the song, and embodies some of the emotions he felt during life experiences in Chicago and beyond.
In the relationship between the lyrics and the song and the scripture references, Kanye West utilizes artistic expression to convey a message directly linked to the relationship between God, Jesus, and the sinner. His modern-day approach to the lament psalms is given from the sinner's point of view as he asks God to show him the way. In the subsequent line of the chorus, he's conflicted between turning to God despite feeling like nothing can be done to save him and acknowledging that he has strayed away and is afraid to talk with God. To say that scripture was misused or out of context within this song is difficult to say as it can be open to interpretation. However, I believe that part of the message he is trying to convey is that of the internal tug of war between doing what is right in the eyes of God, but also living in an environment where it is necessary to do what needs to be done to survive, thus showing the complexity of the human relationship with God and Jesus.
Kanye West distorts this scripture by comparing Psalm 23 to walking in this modern world. Psalm 23 says in verse 4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, and your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This scripture reflects the faith and trust in Jesus, telling us to fear no evil and to walk righteously in what some may call a sinful society. The use of scripture within this song brings power, especially chopped verses with the same messaging. Kanye swings these melodies with conviction, all tying together his Jesus Walks title. Prior to this song, artists in Kanye's industry were unable to voice the word Jesus, instead placeholding with he or him. Kanye deliberately points out that in interviews about this song, claiming he had to press radio stations, labels, and MTV to run his music. There isn't too much distortion of this verse in the song besides the overarching theme Kanye uses that makes his religious beliefs very clear. Kanye says, "I walk through the valley of the Chi where death is," again returning to his idea that our modern world can be described as the valley of death, while following with his voice that Jesus walks.